Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can always check out your Moon and Rising sign readings in addition to your Sun sign reading today for added clarity for the week, or in case your Sun sign reading doesn't resonate with you for any reason. This is for the week of October 10th through to the 17th. And with a continued focus on healing this week, we'll be using the Healing with the Angels Oracle for our main spread. And then as always, drawing cards from the other decks this week, being the Wisdom of the Oracle and the Medicine cards. This is a general reading for your sign. So whatever is most prominent in your life this week, Virgo, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So, what does Virgo need to know about healing this week? Wow, Virgo, there must be some energies and the other placements of the planets this week. I shall have to look into that because there's just an enormous amount of excitement here, physical and relative, expressive excitement for really all of the signs this week, and you're no exception. There's a great deal of energy around expression here, around learning what you really want to have in your life, including what kind of life you prefer to live. We're looking at the reality of what you're living as opposed to the wishes of what you'd like to be living and the possibility that rests in between them, okay? You could even have everything under the sun that you've ever wanted right now, and there's something that's gnawing at you that you want, you still want, okay? And it's not about greed at this time. That's not what it's about. I'm talking about accomplishment. I'm talking about participation. I'm talking about, a gathering or an assessment as opposed to a having or a collection. All right, very much experiential, that an experience is desired here. And this could be the week for getting to either the point where you're able to enact part of this or begin enacting this, or the development of getting those ideas down and putting the process in motion this week. But ultimately, the idea around healing with regard to all these cards together is taking chances. We want to look at exactly what it is that you want. You don't have to tell anyone. In fact, it's probably in your best interest this week to maybe even keep these ideas or these dreams that you have for your future, no matter what they're in regard to this week, in particular, kind of to yourself. Like, make this a personal endeavor, regardless of how you'll be seen by others if you go about enacting it. Okay, this could be your biggest hurdle around actually getting what you want, Virgo, is what are other people going to think of me if I blank? Okay, that's your hurdle. Not getting it, not putting it in motion, not working hard for it, not bringing a dream to life, none of that isn't the hurdle. You might have to get to the point this week where it's not important, and it really isn't, right? And it's time to take the focus off that if that's the case. But you need to personally accept that it's not important how other people accept you, okay? You have to accept yourself. And listen, one of the most painful things in any person's life is living a lie. That's pain. That's painful. And it's unnecessary. And it's kind of like wearing a mask, isn't it? And it's also mean, because it's a denial of the authentic self. So this is a beautiful week for you to come to terms with your authentic self. What do you want the most this week, Virgo? Because the only thing in your way is what other people are going to think of you when you get it. And it's not worth it. You got to fight for this because it's so important for you to keep growing and developing and become that beautiful, authentic self that you are. Okay, so let's look at these one by one with new love in your central position. This represents you. This is the dawning of something enormous that's going to fill your heart. Now, ultimately, with the two cherubs, right, with the cupids and the bows and the arrows, yes, this can be romance. Absolutely. Again, as a general reading, what is most prominent to you this week? Hey, if it's romance, apply this to romance. Get what you want out of that, okay? Now's the time to put it into practice. Stop worrying about what other people might say or do. But because there's thousands of people watching this, not everyone has a week of, romance ahead. And even if you do, for example, maybe that's already situated and there's something deep inside of you that you haven't even expressed to a romantic partner or anyone else. This is what I'm trying to get at this week for you. Something new and amazing is going to take form. This is the week for it to really come to life for you. Your dreams, your daydreams, your wantings, your yearnings that are very, very personal, right? Again, this has less to do with anyone else than it has, altogether to do with you. And so this is an element of excitement. Whenever we're looking at, new anything, frankly, this is about excitement. This is about the butterflies in your stomach that you get when you think about putting something into practice and really overcoming something. This is another beautiful element of a new love. More than likely, if you're over 18 watching this, you've been hurt, okay? Whether it's a romantic issue or a personal issue or an idea that you've had or maybe a project that you've been involved in that fell apart or didn't work out, or maybe you got hurt somehow. You have to really learn how to start over here in order to even have what you're working on now come to life. We can't go around, holding on to the past or having the past create our future. Worst of all, this is you having to let go of something. You have to say, you know what, I release that with love. That happened, but here I am. I'm still breathing. I got through it. It didn't kill me. Take solace in that this week because that will be your guide. You can do this. This is possible for you. What you want the most, you can have. It will have more, your hurdle will have more to do with how other people view you or your outcomes or your dreams and goals themselves or how they feel about it. You need to understand this week, Virgo. Is it important enough to you what other people think of your outcomes and your dreams and desires? I hope it isn't. I hope that isn't the focus. I hope it's more important to you to be authentic. Be who you need to be, who you always wanted to be, and design it now. Do it now. This is the magic moment, is in the now. And yes, it'll probably take steps and plans and phases and there could even be a 5-year plan, for heaven's sakes. So what? Do it. Start now. Even if it changes over time, even if something gets in the way, even if you switch things up or it turns into a 2-year plan, start now. That's the most important part because the influence to the current position for you, which is the newness, the excitement, is the dream. This is the dream. This is what you hold inside. This is what you maybe even deny yourself sometimes. Or you certainly won't, express to someone else through some type of fear. It's natural. I'm not judging. Of course, some things that we have our highest hopes or visions for ourselves, sometimes we are even afraid of. There's a term called even being afraid of success, for heaven's sakes. You're not unique in that way. There are, doers and dreamers and shakers and makers in this world who have, been crippled by self-doubt. But you know what? They do it anyway, and they do it regardless of how they are perceived and regardless of other people's expectations of them. And this is your power this week. You need to follow your heart. You need to do what is in your best interest this week to your highest values. Whether these are actual dreams that you're waking up inspired by, or daydreams, or you're journaling, you're imagine. What do you want to create for yourself? What world do you really want for yourself? And start now. Here with your probable outcome being children, this is two ways this is read. One, if you are a parent of children, you taking this step will behoove them. Making this clearer, they're watching you. And not to be creepy, but they're watching your moves. And if they see their own parent or their own influencer, let's say you're an aunt or an uncle or a cousin of someone, and there are children in your life, they're going to take your example to heart. And this will inspire everyone around you. And there's nothing greater, really nothing greater, than influencing a child to their highest good as well. So keep in mind that there are people waiting for you and probably don't have the language or the maturity to even express this, but they themselves want you to develop into your highest self as well. Another way that this is read, certainly with probable outcome, and in particular if there aren't any children in your life, is about your inner child. A really beautiful way to go about this week if you're sort of on the fence here. Well, I don't remember what I really wanted all my life, or I've never really thought about this, or I've put it on the back burner so long I've kind of forgotten. However, that's playing out for you if you're unsure about how to move ahead for any reason this week. It could be about taking a look at who you were as a child and what you really wanted and desired for yourself, with particular in terms of the life that you want, the outcomes that you want, the person who you authentically are is very much attached to or has a kinship with the child that you were. How did you go with the world? What did you dream about becoming or experiencing? And this could be a very important development in terms of getting to the stage of what it is you really want. And you might have lost focus on it for so long, regarding how other people were looking at you or other people's expectations of you. We can't go and live our lives for other people though, can we? And, claim authenticity. It really needs to be one or the other. Here with ideas and inspiration is the general energy. For all of these cards here is where you're going to be getting the bulk of your influence. This is going to be the sense of excitement that's available to you. So in here, reading particularly over new love, this newness, this awareness, even if it's the awareness that's new, it's still excitement, okay? And of course, ideas, inspiration is always exciting. So keep your antenna up. Keep listening to people with whom you have an affinity to, or an affinity with, whether they're alive or deceased. It doesn't matter. You could have a favorite painter from 500 years ago, for heaven's sakes, or a favorite writer who's long gone, and they influence you and they inspire you. Turn to that because that's important to you, and that's feeding your highest development right now as well. And it could also help with interpreting dreams or your daydreams in terms of focusing on that instead of keeping it out there somewhere as an idea. The ideas and inspiration are going to be able to help you actually focus, and then write them down or record them somehow, particularly for yourself. Okay, this isn't about expressing or communicating this with anyone else this week. You can obviously do what you want with that, but this is so specific to you and so unique to you, and it's married to your authenticity, that it would almost be like a little bit of there could be too much outside interjection here if you were to express these ideas this week with someone else. So maybe figure this part out for yourself this week. It's a great exercise as well in terms of self-reliance. Here with Thinker, listen, I'm not surprised here. ideas, thinking, inspiration. What ideas and concepts and notions and beliefs are bringing you inspiration? And you know what, alternately, Virgo, what isn't? And maybe it's just a nice week to say, you know what, that doesn't inspire me. This doesn't fulfill a dream for me. This isn't in pursuit of my highest good. This doesn't give me a feeling of excitement and energy and authenticity. And you feel free to reject that. You know, you can say, you know, I let all that go with love. I make room for everything new and beautiful and inspiring for me this week. But only you can do this. This is the only thinker in your mind. And this is also speaking to, with regard to your spread this week, really, you're the one that you need to be authentic to, okay? You're the one that you need to face yourself in the mirror, and you need to be accountable to yourself. It's really not about anyone else, even though so much of our lives are wrapped up in relations, relatability, acceptance, community, reputation, all of this stuff, right? But all of those things can also be our biggest downfalls if we become attached to them. So just beware of what you're attached to, and be aware that you are in control of your destiny, even if it hasn't felt like that before. And the outcome is riding on your authenticity. How authentic are you willing to be this week? Because a great deal of excitement is available to you. You just need to be able to perhaps get out of your own way this week. And remember that the child, even within, if this is about other children, yes, it's going to influence them to their highest good. Even if you make a mistake, even if something doesn't go the way you want to, that's part of it. Honestly, Virgo, it's part of it. You don't think that Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey or whoever, pick your hero of choice who made something of themselves against all odds. You don't think they failed at something, or they had a plan and they had to stop midway and reset it, or put a longer timeline on it or something? Don't kid yourself. The point is to keep going and to stay authentic. Look at how beautiful your outcome card is. This is joy. Hummingbird is actually joy. And of course, another framework around this element of beauty and joy is freedom. The freedom that you are going to get from this development, from this personal development. Again, this is less about expression this week to other people and acceptance and reputation, as it is what is going on within you this week. Who's in charge of Virgo's life this week? Who's in charge of your destiny, of your outcomes, of your happiness and your freedom? Well, honey, it is you, and you can do it. In fact, this is the time for you to do it. I'm just delighted for you to see all of these beautiful cards available to you. Remember that you have what it takes, Virgo, and I believe in you. So keep going in direction of your dreams. Stay authentic and be excited. Don't let fear take over. Don't let the past dictate the future. Take it by the reins this week. Be led by ideas and inspiration, and let yourself soar. Virgo, that is your reading for the week. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I was delighted to read it for you. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I upload videos for your sign every single week. And if you have a second, comment below. Let me know how this works out for you this week. I'm genuinely curious. And until we meet next time, take very good care of yourself, and bye for now.